Video 101.
Be Frankie.
Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out, we're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out, we're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out, we're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out, we're stuck in the matrix.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But today I'm going to give a brief synopsis on the incriminating afflictions that's taking place in the music industry and how it's basically correlated to the shooting that took place at Drake's mansion. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get your notes out because a lot of stuff we're going to go over, very brief, and I'm going to prove to you that this is all basically a Masonic ritual that's taking place when you're talking about the shooting that took place at Drake's mansion this morning, right? So with that being said, when you look at Drake's, what actually took place here, it says right here verbatim that the property of Drake's is taped off by police after shooting in the Ritz community leaves man with serious injuries. And that man was Drake's security guard, right, at his home. And he was reportedly shot outside of his residence, right? So one thing you got to understand about this whole phenomenon that's taking place in the hip hop industry, when you're talking about Drake versus Kendrick, a lot of people are negating the implications that's taking place with The Weeknd, right? Because he specifies it all throughout the lyrics in Family Matters when Drake was basically breaking down the whole situation and his feud with everybody in the music industry, right? So when you look at Kendrick's write-up when he was talking about in a 616 in LA. He says conspiracies about Cash Dog. That's not even the leak. Find the jewels like Cash Dog. I just need you to think, right? Because it's all connected to what took place at Cash Dog's house when he had the shooting that took place, right? About 8 days ago. So right here it says at the bottom, when you look at the title, security shot outside Cash XO's Ascenium home, right? And Cash XO is basically The Weeknd's manager. And I'm going to play the video because everything is connected. Everything correlates together.
News out of Encino, where a security guard has been wounded outside of a music executive's home.
Gigi Graciette is live there with all the details. Gigi. And the man, we're told, is fighting for his life. He's in his early 30s in critical condition and at last check was in surgery. You are looking live at this private road here in Encino. LAPD and their investigators still here. Take a look at this video just shot for you. You can see police officers around a guard shack, and that is where it is believed that security guard was shot multiple times around 2:30 this morning. 911 receiving many calls from people who said they heard 3 to 4.
I need you to understand something. Now, we have to investigate and be very, very analytical. You can see the yellow tape right here in the video, right? At Cash XO's house, which is The Weeknd's manager. This took place 8 days ago, right? Now, I need you to look at something here. Now, this is why Drake posted this on his story on Instagram the same night that this actually took place, right? He posted that on his Instagram, basically insinuating that he's connected to the shooting that took place at Cash XO's crib when the security guard got gunned down.
Shot. And it's possible the victim was alert.
Now you can see the XO on the court, so that basically is giving you the signification of what actually took place at The Weeknd's manager's home, right? to let you know that everything is actually connected with the OVO and the XO beef, The Weeknd versus Drake.
And managed to call 911 himself, telling police that he had just been shot here at the home. The suspects, 3 men, all reportedly armed with guns, wearing hoodies, took off running right after the shooting. Now, the multi-million-dollar home belongs to Amir Ismailian, better known as Cash XO, who together with recording artist The Weeknd founded XO Records and has made quite a name for himself in the music industry. At least 4 people were inside the home at the time of the shooting, and it is believed that the security guard was working for Ismailian, who earlier we were told was at home at the time of the shooting. We're working to confirm that. Again, a man left fighting for his life after being shot here. Police working on the theory that this was possibly an attempted burglary or home invasion, but they ran into the security guard first, shot him, and then those suspects took off running. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you. All right, Gigi, thank you.
See, they want to give you the false perception that all this is because of the Kendrick and Drake beef. Because, like I said, people are negating the fact that Drake and The Weeknd also have, implications and they have in the situation at hand right now as well. So that's why Drake, he said in his lyric, he said, it was smoke when Abel hit us with a serenade. N-word said, almost started reaching for my ways. And later adding that Abel, you run your fucking bread, need to buy some more chains for some more guys, right? So that's basically insinuating the fact that when he said, almost started reaching for my waist, he's basically insinuating that he's actually connected to that shooting that took place. Because also that same night of the shooting, Drake posted this on his Instagram. They said that they seen 3 men in hoodies, right? Like I said, we're just investigating. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to piece the puzzles together. I'm not trying to snitch on nobody, whatever, but this is actually taking place. This happened the same night of the shooting. It says views April 29th. And it says right here verbatim at Champagne Poppy's Instagram, right? He posted this on his Instagram, right? The same night. So all this is, esoterically connected to the feud with Drake and The Weeknd. This has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. And the reason they're trying to perpetuate that energy is because Kendrick Lamar, when he posted his diss track called Not Like Us, he basically posted Drake's home and is basically insinuating that it's basically a hub for human trafficking and things of that nature, right? As he was breaking everything down lyrically within the song. So that's why a lot of people are basically trying to connect Kendrick Lamar with the implications that took place at Drake's house this morning, because they're trying to keep you stuck in a time loop. They're trying to keep you stuck in an artificial time analysis mechanism to repeat the same shit over and over again. They want to repeat the Tupac versus Biggie, the East versus West Coast, because Toronto was actually, somewhat in the West Coast because it's up, upstate New York, basically. So they trying to perpetuate this energy of the East Coast and the West Coast, right? They trying to run that right back around again. So this is why they're going to say that Kendrick Lamar has something to do with the shooting, because in the diss tracks, when it really has nothing to do with it, right? So really, it's really talking about what took place. So they're basically trying to perpetuate this energy. That's all they do. And everything is basically a distraction. I need you to understand that, right? I need you to understand that it's basically a distraction. And we're going to get into this right here in a second. So that's why they're trying to perpetuate that everything that took place at Drake's home has something to do with Kendrick Lamar, right? So I'm going to play this video right here talking about the shooting that took place at Drake's home at 2:09 this morning.
Following 2 developing shooting investigations from Toronto police, the latest in North York. This is known to be the home of celebrities in the bridal path. This sending 1 person to hospital. There's a live shot right now outside of 21 Park Circle Lane. This is widely known to be the home of rapper Drake. Details are still limited, but police say the shooting happened around 2 o'clock this morning One man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. No word on the identity of that person at this point. A suspect fled in a vehicle, but police say so far there is no description. Once again, this is a live look outside of 21 Park Circle Lane in the Bridle Path, which is widely known to be the home of Toronto-born rapper Drake. You can stay with us here on BT and on citynews.ca for the latest on this developing story.
So it has nothing to do with Kendrick, right? This has nothing to do with Kendrick. Also, this is another video that basically is connected to the shooting of Drake's home.
Shooting has occurred outside the home of Canadian rapper Drake, the incident occurring in the wake of Drake's ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar.
You hear what she said? She tried to say is ongoing beef with fellow rapper Kendrick Lamar. This shit has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. It has nothing to do with it, right? But like I said, the music industry is dying, so they got to find a way to create an incident to basically create a spark within the music industry for capitalism purposes, right? Because they know that the music industry is dying. Hollywood is dying. Everything that's connected to the energy of Hollywood is basically starting to dematerialize. So in order to keep this thing up, they got to create and perpetuate this beef, right? Which is also a Masonic ritual by way of gematria. And we're going to get into that as we get through the presentation.
Heels is on the scene with more. Courtney, we see the police tape behind you. What more can you tell us?
Good morning, Marcia. I can tell you there is a pretty heavy police presence along this road. This is Park Lane Circle. It's the street that Drake lives on. This is as close to the scene as we can get. You can see they have a Toronto police van here, a couple of officers blocking the road, also yellow police tape here too. Now, Chopper 24, that's our newsroom helicopter, was able to get over Drake's home earlier. And in that video, we saw some yellow police tape in the courtyard of his home, also some people going in and out of the house. And as you reported that CP24 reporting there is a source confirming there was a shooting outside of his home. We do not know if Drake was home at the time, and this is all happening in the wake of this ongoing feud with another artist, Kendrick Lamar. We don't know if there's a connection here just yet. We are in touch with Toronto Police to see if they can share any more on this investigation. They are staying pretty tight-lipped, but what I can also tell you, police are sharing that they are investigating a shooting in this general area where we are. This is the Bridle Path neighborhood. Police say they were called to the Lawrence and Bayview area at about 2 in the morning. That's really close to where we are. At that time, that was a shooting investigation, and police and paramedics told us an adult, was rushed to hospital with serious injuries, and they were still looking for a suspect seen leaving the area. Now, we've reached out to police to see, okay, is that shooting that was clearly very close to that connected to this one? They're just not saying just yet. We expect an update on this pretty soon, especially given the attention this is getting this morning right now. But the latest on this breaking news, the shooting outside of Drake's home happened sometime overnight. We don't have any further details. We don't know if the artist was there, but this is a pretty significant police presence in this neighborhood. Marcia, as I say, this is as close as we can get. I was actually on the other side of the road here, and again, entirely blocked off by cruisers, and we can not really see from this vantage point, but our chopper overhead was able to show us police in the courtyard of the home, and there's some yellow police tape up there too.
Okay, you've hit a couple of key points that I wanted to follow up on. So we don't know exactly what time the shooting occurred, Courtney?
No, and we're kind of going off of the other update from Toronto Police with that suggestion that they did investigate a shooting overnight at about 2 in the morning in the Bayview and Lawrence area. And again, they're not saying, okay, that's close enough to hear this is the same shooting, just not yet. They're staying pretty quiet on this one. So we're just waiting to get more information. But we do know this happened at the very least overnight, because first thing this morning, this is what neighbors in this residential area, I guess you could say, this is a very affluent neighborhood that we're in. They woke up to this heavy police presence, and obviously a lot of questions about what happened too.
Yeah, and to that, and I know you've just arrived on the scene, and for our viewers across the country, you kind of touched on it there too. This is an affluent neighborhood, but it's pretty open. Yeah. Everybody knew where Drake lived. Yeah. There is a lot of space between the houses. The homes are mansions. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone? Are people able to leave the neighborhood and drive out? Are things blocked off? set more of the scene for us there, please? Again, for the benefit of our viewers across the country who aren't familiar with this area we know in Toronto as the Bridle Path.
Yeah, so anybody who lives in the Toronto area likely is pretty familiar with this neighborhood, Bridle Path, big mansions. It's a gorgeous neighborhood, a lot of space between these homes too. In terms of the actual location where Drake lives as well, it is well known. A lot of people know he lives on this street right behind me here. As for talking to neighbors, I haven't just yet. Keep in mind, it's not as simple as kind of knocking on doors. I mean, I literally have to go up giant driveways, and I will do that. We just arrived here because this is a story that really broke only 45 minutes or so ago. So we wanted to get here, of course, first to give you this perspective. There are some homes along here, Marcia, that I see are within the yellow police tape. So I'll keep an eye out, of course, to see if anybody's going in and out. Other homes in the area, there's no impact there. Many, once they do come out of their home, they'll likely see this because the whole road is blocked off.
Okay, great reporting. Courtney Hills, thanks so much on the scene of what is our breaking news, our top story this morning. A shooting has occurred.
So, with that being said, that's telling you right now that for them to try to put Kendrick Lamar in this whole feud, they're basically trying to force a war, right? So now, one thing you got to understand about Drake's character, right? Drake is very known for being very subliminal, right? So this is why the Los Angeles Times, they put out a publication talking about Drake is fighting for, in order to appear for deposition tied to XXXTentacion's murder trial, right? Which was basically last year when that happened. The reason that is because a lot of people try to connect XXX death to Drake, right? And the reason that is because they was having a back and forth, and then XXX, he said verbatim in his Instagram story, he said, if anyone tries to kill me, it was Champagne Papi. I'm snitching right now, right? And like I said, Drake is very subliminal, so everything he does is, he's going to post it on Instagram, and he's going to be very secretive, and what I'm saying, he's going to be very impulsive about what he does, because like I said, he's a light-skinned man. That's just the light-skinned energy of how they, propagate themselves within the music industry, right? So this is a secret leak conversation that took place. It says right now, I'm hearing you. Okay, thank you. So look, 4 months ago, X posted, if anyone kills me, it's Drake. I'm snitching right now on his Instagram story. Then after that, I don't know if you remember, but X account was hacked and everything was deleted. After that, X went live and said he had a secret about Drake that he knew that Drake didn't want anyone to know. And when X said it, Drake threatened to kill X, right? So the same thing is actually taking place when you're talking about the feud between The Weeknd and Drake, right? It's not between Kendrick Lamar, because they're trying to perpetuate the Tupac and Biggie to keep this ritualistic sacrifice going, right? Because it's all for profit. It's all for capitalism. The financial system is starting to crash. The music industry is starting to crash. Hollywood is crumbling. The house of cards is crumbling. So they got to find a way to perpetuate these energies on a planet to keep you stuck inside the illusion. So like I said, Drake is very subliminal. He posts everything on his Instagram, right? Very subliminal. And the night that at the Weeknd's manager's home, when his security guard got shot up, Drake posted this on his Instagram, right? Caution tape, right? Basically insinuating that he has something to do with it. He's very subliminal and very bold when it comes to stuff like that. So like I said, this is why it's all connected to XXX, because this is how you know that he's connected to the shooting that took place with the Weeknd's manager, because like I said, Drake is very subliminal, right? Because I'm basically exposing his character and the implications that's connected to what he does within the music industry and how he deals with his beefs, right? And he even put 100,000 on Pusha T's head for information, right? Now, when you look at this, Drake put out a single called I'm Upset. It says, SMS triple X. The only time I ever shoot below the neck. Skirt. Why you keep shooting if you know that N-word is dead? That's the only kind of shit that gets you some respect. So he's basically insinuating, like, says right here, circle triple X, XXX, he got shot in the neck. He basically got shot below the neck, right? He got shot below the neck when he was getting robbed for his vehicle and money in Florida, right? By these four individuals who is also esoterically connected to the OVO camp, because the OVO camp sent the lady who was living in Miami at the time, and she's basically affiliated. That she is the one who gave them the proposition that was orchestrated by Drake, right? So one thing you gotta understand is that everything in the simulation in the energy extraction matrix is basically a stage. So when you understand gematria, right, the Vedic numerical sequence of gematria, the numerical value of Drake shooting adds up to 146, right? 146 is also equated to financial crisis, and it's also equated to power outage. So the beef between Kendrick Lamar, Drake, the beef between Drake and The Weeknd, they're trying to distract you that we're going through a financial crisis. It's coming. They're trying to distract you from a power outage. It's coming because, you know what I'm saying, the United States, they're having many different afflictions with China, Iran, with Russia. So it's inevitable that the power grid is going to go down because they're going to hit us with an EMP, right? Because why you so subjected to the energy between Drake and whoever he's beefing with, you stuck into the illusion. Now you're under the sleep spell. So when you're stuck into the illusion, you're not prepared for what's going to be taking place when you have a power outage or when you have a financial crisis. Also, when you look at the numerical sequence and the value in gematria, Drake versus Kendrick, it adds up to 155. 155 is also the numerical value for a Masonic ritual. So all this stuff that's taking place is basically a Masonic ritual that puts you in alignment for sacrifice, because they need a sacrifice in order to keep this illusion going, right? Because as we go through the shift, you know, they start to lose their power. So it's not a coincidence that they're basically trying to perpetuate to keep you acclimated to the illusion. They're trying to keep you stuck in a loop to repeat the same shit over and over and over and over again, right? They want to keep you stuck in a circle. They don't want you to evolve past everything that's basically subjected by the plutocracy and the oligarchy and the elites who control and run the music industry, because the music in itself is how they control individuals on the planet by way of the octave vibrations in the music that manipulates your neurological faculties, right? It basically disrupts the neurotransmitters and puts you under the sleep state, right? Because the music in itself has negative vibrations to where it basically causes brain hemorrhages, right? When you have brain hemorrhages or whatever, that basically lowers your frequency because your neural faculties and your neurosynapses is connected to your nervous system. Your nervous system is basically the epitome of your auric field. So when you have holes in your aura, right, this is where you're subjected to demonic possession. This is where you're subjected to you being in a docile state of mind. When you're in a docile state of mind, you're basically connected to the demiurge. You're stuck in the illusion, right? You don't know how to be present. So this is why people have a lot of veneration and credence for rappers and celebrities, right? They have an emotional connection to it because your emotions, your ego is what keeps you stuck on this realm and keeps you stuck and acclimated to the illusion, right? So this is why they want to perpetuate the Drake versus Kendrick, to give their resurgence of the Tupac versus Biggie, right? Because you know, they need a sacrifice in order for them to keep you stuck in an illusion. They got to make you believe this shit is real. And the only way to do that is to actually make something happen to one of these guys in the hip hop industry, right? Because like I said, by way of your emotions, when you have an emotional connection to anything, as far as people, places, and possessions, what happens is your emotions is what basically makes logic becomes the common denominator, to where you're not thinking in your right state of mind. Because a motherfucker would tell you that the sky is purple if the color blue hurts their feelings. So if you have an emotional connection to these rappers or your favorite celebrity, When your favorite celebrity dies, what happens is you're subjected to the energy of the affliction that took place when that rapper or that celebrity, when they died, right? And this is how these entities is able to feed off your emotional energy, right? They're able to feed off your emotional energy. That's why I say you're not supposed to be emotional. You're supposed to be equally yoked and balanced. When you balance, can't nothing manipulate you mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? So this is how they get you, right? They get you by way of the idolatry in westernized civilization, right? They get you to worship these celebrities so much to the point where you're stuck in the illusion, right? Because the illusion in itself is being facilitated by the trickster gods, right? When you understand Gnosticism. So I didn't want to keep you long. It was something I wanted to touch on because, you know, as I was telling you before, everything is connected. You know what I'm saying? Everything is connected, whether it's some shit that's going down in the music industry, movie industry, politics, religion, everything is connected. But it's up to you to develop the mental frequency, right? And the supreme logic to think beyond the parameters and the limitations of the third dimension, which is basically the foundation of the illusion of technology, right? So this is how they keep you stuck within the simulation, right? They keep you acclimated to the illusion. Everybody is, you know, is focusing on this thing. But like I said, when you look at certain things like this, as far as like the entertainment industry and Hollywood, whatever, you know, look at it from a form of edification, not entertainment, right? Because when you get the edification from the fallacies that's being propagated in the media, this is where you're able to see beyond certain things to the point where you're not going to be subjected to whatever black swan event, whatever false flag that they're basically trying to perpetuate in a form of psychological operation. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, get this video out there. Like I said, you know, we living in a time right now where they're going to hit you with illusion after illusion after illusion, psychological operation after psychological operation after psychological operation. They're going to hit you with trickery, technology every time. The reason they doing that because they know that their time is up, right? We are going through reset. When you are going through reset, everything, the house of cards, these rappers, these celebrities, they got to get exposed, right? And the only way you expose it is by way of truth, propagating the truth, spreading the truth. So with that being said, spread this message and get the video out there, right? To basically put a stoppage on the illusionary concepts that's basically being propagated by the oligarchy. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching this video. End of transmission.
10:14.
We will put an end to this madness.
It's me again, God. I know it's been a long time since I last called you back on your line. So I hope and I pray for your hand to help me on the ladder to the land. Karma's gonna get to you and then you'll have a chariot with only one less friend. Now I had distant folks that are looking to my eyes to understand the wisdom he's given and his wealth from the skies. So thanks for this meal that I'm about to receive, and thank you for my health and all the good memories. Thanks for the courage taking on another day when I used to not believe, but now I know about grace. Stay away from the fire cause the flames does burn. Go with your gut feeling, when it's wrong you learn. For every one step I take, the Lord takes two. And do unto others if you want it done unto you. It's me again, God, I know it's been a long time since I last called you back on your line. So I hope and I pray for your hand to help me on the ladder to the land. It's me again, God, I know it's been a long time since I last called you back on your line. So I hope and I pray for your hand to help me on the ladder to the land. This a completion. The selfish proto-Grecian, Amerindian, Phoenician. I'm the last of the Mohicans, the bastard of the land, the pen, melanin, accretion. And we just trying to get back to the fact that we was kings and queens of a land before the avalanche seized it. I live on Turtle Island with the rest of the diseased. Better than the medicine for 7 different treatments. Niggas try to ride away but end up getting seasick. The sleep can feel my words like Braille and they're awakened with the penmanship of Hindu script written in them vacant monastery. Honorary payments to the prototype. Tomorrow's only a day away but nothing happens overnight. The fuck's wrong with going left when you know it's right? Biting off more than I can chew, that's an overbite. Black on black crime is like watching 2 soldiers fight when all along they was on the same page. History. It's me again, God, I know it's been a long time since I last called you back on your line. So I hope and I pray for your hand to help me on the ladder to the land. It's me again, God, I know it's been a long time since I last called you back on your line. So I hope and I pray for your hand to help me on the ladder to the land.